This is another reading of Lord Mayor, bottom of the page 3250. We'll just repeat last week's last paragraph. While the little girls were dancing before Baba, he stated, "The first song I sang, the first dance I danced, have eternally bound me. In spite of my best efforts, I am unable to free myself. This is the reason why, age after age, I have to come again and again in this world as a man. By my singing the song, the whole universe has come round my neck." He added, "If you could only understand that the whole universe is just a shadow of the infinite God, you would never worry about these temporary things. Then you would know that you all eternally were, are, and will be in God." Sampath Iyengar's daughter, Janaki, had come from Madras with her daughter Vasumati. The Seshagiri family was also present. Baba lovingly inquired after each. He asked Seshagiri's son-in-law, M.V. Subbarao, "Do you love me?" And when he replied yes, Baba asked, "What do you want?" "I want nothing more, Baba," he replied. Baba was pleased by his answer. In the afternoon at the Dock Bungalow, Mulukutla Ramalingam Sastri, whom Baba nicknamed Baba Sastri, sang some of Kabir and Mira's songs in a classical way. Kabir's song, "Remove the Veil and You Will See Ram," prompted Baba to explain. "Just imagine that ages ago you were, now are, and ever will be. Then what is there to worry about? I want to impress upon you all that you must be honest. You must be honest to God, to yourselves, and to others. If you love God honestly, you will forget yourselves and see me everywhere and in everything. God does not like a sham, and ceremonies are only outward. It is an insult to God if you make a show of your devotion." That is what Kabir means when he says, "Don't revel in your desires." There are many yogis who can achieve samadhi, fly in the air or walk on water, and yet do not know what love is. This divine love consumes all our limited desires. But this burning in love should be smokeless. Kabir puts this in one line: "Lift the veil of 7 colors." He does not say, "Remove the curtain," but uses the word "kole," lift, open. In fact, this veil is so subtle that even the finest and highest thought cannot pierce or tear it. This veil has 7 layers and 7 knots. The 7 layers are of different colors and of 7 kinds of sanskaras. These impressions are of the phenomenal illusory life. To make it more clear, this world that we see, hear, and experience through the senses is an illusion and is based on 7 illusory desires. Marvin, did we read this last time, a couple of weeks ago? It seems so
No,
familiar to me.
I don't think so so far.
Awesome, awesome. You want to read from now on from here then?
Okay, I'll take it for a while.
Thank you.
Fiery free life. Of, of these seven desires is based the entire working of the gross life, and that is why both descent and ascent of the soul is in seven stages. The real seat of the Brahma is in the head, and so you find seven doors to these illusions: two eyes, two ears, two nostrils, and one mouth. When an advanced soul enters the path with the inner eye open, it is said to open the first knot. And when the first knot is open, one layer out of the seven drops down, corresponding to the mouth. When the first knot is opened, the pilgrim is said to have crushed one desire and to have entered the first plane. When the second knot is opened, corresponding to the right nostril, the second layer falls down, and the pilgrim is said to have entered the second plane. Here he sees wonderful things. Although all these things are illusory, if he gets lost in them, he is gone. Footnote: gone in this sense means lost in a heaven. Only perfect masters or the avatar can rescue such souls out of this divine stupor. An example is Mohammed Must, who was found in Bombay in 1936 and brought out of this enchantment by Baba. The third knot is the left nostril. Here the pilgrim sees more enchantments. He can now read the thoughts of all. After this third knot, the pilgrim enters what is called by Jesus the dark spiritual night of the soul. The fourth and fifth knots are opened simultaneously, corresponding to the right and left ears. These desires are crushed, and the pilgrim enters the fourth plane. Now he becomes all powerful. He can even raise the dead, and here it is possible that he can fall to the lowest depth. He falls if he misuses his powers. If he resists the temptation of using his powers, then he opens the sixth and seventh knots simultaneously, corresponding to the two eyes, and crushes the sixth and seventh types of desires. He has entered the fifth plane now, but the veil is still there, and he cannot see God. Only God's grace or the Master's help can throw away or tear this veil. Then the pilgrim enters the sixth plane, which is represented by the middle of the forehead, that is, the third eye. Now he sees God face to face everywhere. Very few can enter the seventh plane, represented by the top of the head. Here one becomes God, but this can be done only with the Master's help. Only rare ones get down from the top of the head to the heart. The Master can, in the twinkling of an eye, or even quicker, remove all these veils and everything at once, because all is illusory. This, in the end, means that only God is real and all else is an illusion. We are all permanently lodged in this, our beloved God. So we are all one. Baba concluded by stating, "This is the first long discourse that I am giving in my fiery life, and you will not find this explanation given in any book, because the theme is very difficult to comprehend. But there are certain souls who need such explanations, which they gradually receive to their advantage." The singing program ended at 5:30 p.m. Baba's endearing ways caused the fire of love to rage out of control in Tadapaling Palagudem, Dadepali Kudem. Its flames made some weep, some smile, left some somber, some jocular, and others silent. It had different reflections in different individuals. Some sang, some danced, some remained actively preoccupied, and some were dazed. But though his divine love manifested in various ways, its intoxication was the same for all. Thousands felt as if they were drowned in the ocean of bliss, and for several days remained in that state of intoxication. Even children on the road were absorbed in repeating Namo Meher Baba Avatar, Namo Dev Deva. A full, accurate description of the frenzied scene is not possible for any pen. Only the language of the ocean can describe it, and that language is wordless. Suffice it to say that Andhra was blessed by imbibing this heavenly nectar through fire. On Wednesday, 21 January 1953, at 7 a.m., Baba and the group left by car and buses. The tears of Tadepali Gudem serenaded his farewell. Baba reached Pentapadu after a half an hour, where he was riotously received by about 5,000 people. I, Gangadhar Ram, and an acharya, a Hindu priest, delivered welcome addresses, and a few songs were sung. Baba touched the prasad of bananas and guavas, saying that the workers there should distribute it among the people. At 8 o'clock, after giving a massage to the students gathered there, Baba headed for Pipara. Dr. Rao, Kutumba Shastri, Mallikarjuna Rao, and a few others had joined Baba in Tadepalingudem. At each place, Kutumba Shastri translated Baba's message into Telugu. Baba arrived in Pipara at about 8:30 a.m., where a function was held at the Board High School. Over 5,000 people were present, including the students. After the message on God, bowing down to God, was read to the crowd, Baba stated, "I am very happy to be among you all today. My message since ages and from eternity without beginning has been of love. God alone is real, and to know him we must love him. God resides in us all equally, and he wants silent love within. We can love him also by loving our fellow beings. And if we love God honestly, all our doubts, worries, and anxieties of ages vanish. I give you my blessings so that through love you can see me in everyone and everything. My coming here will be of value if at least one of you becomes worthy of this blessing. Now I will bow down to you, which will mean you all bowing down to me, and so you need not individually bow to me again." After bowing to the crowd, Baba touched flowers which were distributed as his prasad. He went to the residence of Tumalapalli Virbhadra Rao and left Pipara at about 9 o'clock. On the way, he halted briefly for 5 minutes at two villages, where, even within this short span of time, thousands had sight of him. His sweet smile emitted rays of fire, penetrating every heart. Baba entered Penuganda at about 11:30 a.m., where darshan took place in the Kanyaka Parmeshwari temple at 2:30 that afternoon. Almost 8,000 took advantage of the opportunity and received prasad from his hands. Scroll. Jawadi Laksima Naidu had arranged for Baba's stay in the local Panchayat, the village council office, and also for his meals. Baba visited his home as well as the houses of Enduri Narasimha Murti and Nuli Lakshmi Narayana. Baba left Penuganda in the next morning, Thursday, 22 January 1953, at 7 a.m., halting at Kapavaram village, where he gave darshan. He arrived in Nidadavoli at 8:30. This was Kumbha Sastri at Mallikarjuna's hometown. Darshan had been arranged at the board high school, and about 5,000 attended. Baba was so quick in distributing prasad after the usual messages were read out and translated that by 9:50 a.m. he had completed everything. Kumbha Sastri had arranged refreshments for the group accompanying Baba, and while the prasad distribution was taking place, the Mandali and others had tea. After the darshan was over, Baba lambasted Pendu, who was the tour manager, for this breach of his orders. The fact was that Pendu had been standing near Baba all along and was unaware that the group was having refreshments. But to teach the newcomers a lesson, Baba corrected Pendu and the other Mandali severely, whereby all learned that without his consent, nothing was to be consumed. You went back a page.
Here.
One more. It also happened in the course of their journey that the Mandali were made the targets of and received Baba's stinging arrows, quote unquote, in admonition for the faults of others. After years of such treatment, the Mandali were impervious to the master's insults and humiliations, and remained humble and helpless in the face of Baba's onslaughts, finding no other pleasure except being in his company. In Nidadavoli, Baba paid a visit to the homes of Sastri and Mallikarjuna Rao and met their families. Sastri's wife and two sons, Bhaskar and Krishna, saw Baba for the first time here, and the family was blessed. Sastri had made all the arrangements for Baba, even though he was in financial straits. Baba wanted to give him rupees 500, but he would not accept it. By refusing Baba's by refusing Baba's
Try this NASA scientist brain trick to restore clarity fast. You've probably
by refusing Baba's prasad, his condition grew worse. When he realized he had made a grave mistake in not accepting the amount, he was ashamed of his pride. Baba later advised him, whenever I give anyone anything as prasad, it should be accepted with joy at once, because it is a great good luck to receive prasad from the hands of the avatar. Baba left for Kovur at about 10 o'clock, but on the outskirts of town, he had the car stopped. Dhanapati Rao was following in his car with his family. Far behind them were the buses transporting the Mandali and the rest of the group. Getting out of the car, Baba sat under a tree and soundly rebuked Dhanapati, Sastri, and Arjana Rao because the Mandali had become separated from him. Don't play with fire, he warned them. From the very beginning, I have been saying that the Mandali should always be with me. You disregarded my instructions and failed to arrange things properly. I am canceling the remainder of the Andhra tour and leaving for Bombay today. Dhanapati sincerely sought Baba's forgiveness and was pardoned, but he learned a lifelong lesson. There is severity amidst the sweetness of the fire. In this harshness is true sweetness, as the fire does not glow without it. The buses had still not caught up with Baba, and Dhanapati drove back in his car to see what happened. He discovered that one bus had run out of gas, and the other had developed a mechanical problem. The problems with both buses were eventually resolved, but it still took an hour before the Mandali arrived in front of Baba. Though he seemed quite restless, Baba had remained sitting under the tree. Soon after this incident, the journey to Kovur was resumed. Koduri Krishna Raya was the host in Kovur, but instead of going to his home, Baba went straight to Ramilingeshwara Raya's home, where his daughter's wedding was being celebrated. Koduri came there begging Baba's forgiveness for not arranging the buses properly. Baba forgave him and then went to his home, where a group of poor people were being fed. At 3:30 p.m., darshan was held at a second board high school, where almost 5,000 people had congregated. Baba touched the baskets of fruit with instructions for them to be distributed as prasad from him. Baba kept Koduri Krishna Rao at a distance, though he was responsible for arranging all the events. Baba appeared not to be in a good mood, yet this was his way of drawing Koduri closer to him. By keeping him far away, Baba drew him near. It was Koduri who several years later established a center called Mehestan, Mehev's abode, in Kovur. Nitimi Damareo, 45, their host at Raja Mundri, had come to know Kovur with his Ford car. He had been a devoted follower of Sai Baba and Upasni Maharaj, and had met Baba at the November 1952 meetings in Mehrabad. At 4:30 p.m., Damareo drove Baba to Dalaswaram, where a large function was scheduled. Only Erich, Meherji, Naraman, and Sastri accompanied Baba. Koduri had arranged for the Mandali and other members of Baba's group to proceed to Dalaswaram in East Godavari by boat across the Godavari River. At sunset, Baba's car crossed the dam at Dalaswaram. Baba gestured for the car to stop. He got out and, facing west, dipped his hands and feet into the river. Damareo had reserved the Nava Bharati Gurukul, a student hostel of a boarding school, in Raja Mundri for Baba's stay. When Baba arrived after the darshan program in Dalaswaram, the Mandali were not present. They were still waiting on the banks of the Godavari, since there were no buses available to bring them. Baba became furious with Dhanapati, Damareo, and Arjanareo. Sitting under a tree in the hostel's compound, he repeated, "I told you not to play with fire. I am canceling the entire program and going back to Bombay." Dhanapati burst out weeping, and Baba forgave him, but he canceled the enactment of a play that night. Now, on the morning of the 23rd, Baba called Dhanapati, Damareo, Sastri, Arjanareo, and Idita Satiraju to witness a special event. Let's see the footnote. Idita Satiraju had first heard of Meher Baba in 1939 and attended the November 52 meeting at Mehrabad. Baba laid his head on the feet of 56 persons as, quote, representatives of the 56 God-realized souls on earth. The repentance prayer was read by Daki at the end of the ceremony. Dr. Deshmukh joined the group at Rajamundry. In addition, Baba had kept a few select boys along with him on the journey. One boy was Muridar, as already mentioned, or another Murlidhar. Another was V.R. Jagat Kumar, 15, the son of a collector, V.V. Narayana Rao. During the journey, every day for a week, Baba would wash the feet of these two boys, and after drying them, touch his forehead to them, and hand the boys a 1 rupee note, which he told them to preserve. Nanapate's 2 sons were also with them, and Pukar had brought 2 boys from Hamapur, named Sharma and Singh, who likewise stayed with the group. More than 3,000 attended the 9 a.m. darshan program in Rajamundry. As usual, the crowd had been instructed not to touch Baba's feet. While taking darshan, one teenage boy could not stop crying and caught hold of Baba. The boy said, "If you will not allow me to touch your feet, I will not take prasad from you." Baba gestured for him to sit near his feet, and Baba put the prasad into his mouth. The boy continued to weep as Baba distributed the prasad. Finally, Baba motioned to Pukar to take the boy away. He picked him up like a child and put him on his shoulders, but the boy kept struggling. Alaba told Pukar to let him go, and he fell at Baba's feet. Baba held him in his embrace for quite some time. The boy was crying so much, Pukar thought he would die on the spot. Finally, Pukar led him away and began massaging him lightly to calm him down. In the evening, Baba asked about the boy, and Pukar assured him that he was quite all right. "What did you do to him?" Baba asked. Pukar replied, "I massaged him, and he came to his senses." Baba called Gadakar and asked Pukar to demonstrate. But when Pukar tried to show Baba, Gadakar, who was extremely ticklish, could not stop laughing. Baba himself laughed so much at this that his face turned red. Imagine laughing in silence. Baba visited the homes of Damareo, Jyoti Prakash, Gautame Jivak, Arjuna, Arunga, and Garala Krishna Rao, who is Damareo's father-in-law, in Rajamundry. At Damareo's, his daughters performed a dance for Baba. Baba then went to the train station to leave for Eluru. The place was packed with lovers and devotees shouting Baba's Jai and heaping garland after garland upon him. Baba left by the 3:30 p.m. train, which stopped en route at several places where thousands had gathered for a brief glimpse of him. At every station, the train was delayed for quite some time until the crowd was satisfied. He had entered the hearts of thousands in just a few days, noted Age. His one glance had been enough to light a fire in their hearts and answer all their questions of ages. Baba arrived in Eluru at 6:30 p.m. on Friday, 23 January 1953. An enormous crowd had come to the station to receive him, and echoes of Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai rocked the train itself. Age knew it was the voice of wine, which was rejoicing, the wine which was weeping, the wine which was dancing and singing. Baba was met by Ranga Rao, R.V. Rama Rao Naidu, the Maharaja of Pangidigudem, Dr. Kanakadandi, Kata Subarao, and K. Narayan Rao, who garlanded him He was then led to the Raja's decorated car, and a long procession formed to parade the Lord of the universe in all his splendor through their city. The group stayed with Baba in Kata Subareo's large garden. A small room had been kept for Baba, and a tent had been erected for the others. Kata, a simple man by nature, had made fine arrangements. The next morning, Baba served 7 poor people. After washing the feet of a lad named Bhupati Rao, Baba also bowed his head to him and gave him 7 rupees as prasad. From Eluru, Baba sent Don back to Merazad for some work, but Balna too joined the group that same day, 24 January. Baba expressed a desire to play a game of marbles that morning. 10 or 12 of the Mandali took part in it, and Baba hit 7 marbles at a stroke. The game lasted for half an hour. The members of the reception committee were amazed to see Baba playing marbles. And when the game was over, he remarked, "After many years, I have again played marbles. But in fact, since eternity, I have been playing marbles with the universe and have never once missed the mark. I am the smallest of the small and the biggest of the big. This is my actual experience. And one who gets purified completely will know me to be everyone." I have been repeatedly saying that we must be honest. The least hypocrisy truly drives away the infinite, which is Baba. So my blessings are for this honesty in loving God. A very large mass darshan took place in Eluru in the afternoon at the grounds of the Sir C.R. Reddy College. Is that a footnote there? Sir C.R. Reddy, 1880 to 1951, was a famous Indian educationalist and one of the founders of Andhra University. Villagers from neighboring places had come in large numbers, and it reminded Bao of the festive scene at Seonar. People arrived in buses and in hundreds of bullock carts. The crowd was estimated at 25,000 people. Everyone stood up when Baba entered the tent at 4 o'clock. When they sat back down, Baba dictated this message: "I feel very happy to be among you all. Consider me to be one of you. I am the poorest of the poor and the richest of the rich. Every one of you has within you the source of infinite power, knowledge, bliss, and peace. And if, in spite of infinite power within you, you feel helpless, and in spite of possessing infinite happiness within you, you feel miserable, it is because of ignorance. And to get rid of ignorance, the only way is to love God. If you love God sincerely, honestly, and intensely, you will find him within yourselves. I give you my blessings for the attainment of this love divine. If at least one of you loves God as he ought to be loved, then my purpose in coming here will have been served." A member of the Eluru Bar Association read out a welcome speech. After Dake read out Baba's messages on the fiery free life and on spiritual freedom, prasad distribution and darshan began. Darshan lasted for about 3 hours, after which Baba was driven back to his residence. On Sunday morning, January 1953, the group gathered at 7 o'clock in Baba's room as instructed. "I had no sleep. I had no sleep last night," he stated. Baba wished to visit the huts of the poor who wanted to invite him but dared not, and this was discussed. He concluded, "I am not going there to show humility. I am in all, the goal of all. Then what is the necessity of this visit? It is because I love the poor, which is true. And also, people should know that I am for the poor. When one of the group remarked that the people of Andhra were madly in love with him, Baba quoted these lines from the Urdu.
Oh, we lost Marvin, I guess, to his internet conked out. So Baba quoted these lines of the Urdu poet Jigar. Now the mere utterance of the word love is enough to frighten my heart. O God, what complete devastation love brings. Elaborating, Baba stated, these lines of Jigar are most meaningful. Jigar is not a realized soul, but due to poetic imagination, sometimes he conveys the best of spiritual thoughts. Of course, it is a fluke, but Hafiz was not only a great poet, but a realized soul. As for me, I don't fear that love because I am that love, and I am in charge of that love. Now the time has come when the beloved is afraid of his lovers. Eva, would you like to continue from here? Unmute.
Sure. Where are we? Oh, the
Top of the page.
Okay. Changing the topic, Baba stated, I am the avatar, but tell me, how do you know I am the avatar? Gaya Prasad Kahar quoted some couplets called Shupai from the Ramayana and said that they were enough to convince him Meher Baba was the avatar. Baba replied, but it is also said that many shall appear in the Kali Yuga, present age, as Sadgurus and avatars. How do you know that I am the real one and not a fraud? Someone said that none had declared himself as the avatar as authoritatively as Baba had. Hence, Baba must be the avatar. But how can you say that I say all of this knowingly? Baba asked. I may be copying the style after reading about previous avatars. So the proof is not in saying something in an authoritative way. In the world today, there are about 70 persons who claim to be the avatar of the age, both in the East and in the West. And God helped them all. So the question still remains unanswered as to how you know that I am the avatar. Bappi Raju related several of his miraculous experiences, saying they were sufficient proof for him to take Meher Baba as the avatar. To this, Baba replied at length, all such experience may be due to your love and faith, and as such are far off the mark to prove that I am the avatar. Of course, as for myself, I have the experience that I am the avatar. But however much all of you say, I do not feel convinced that you really know that I am the avatar. To know me as the avatar is to know me as I am. You have to be what I am. One day, Upasani Maharaj, when we were alone in his hut, said to me with folded hands, you are the avatar. Now, though it is a fact that the avatar, God, and you are all one, yet all that I want you to do is to love me, obey me with full faith. For Hafiz says, Oh, Hafiz, don't bother about anything. Only worship your master by holding fast to his robe. Don't let go your holds under any circumstances. To make this point clear, suppose there is a railroad engine with 5 or 6 bogies, railroad cars attached to it. Some certain gold, some silver, and some cow dung. But as long as the link with the engine is maintained, all are safe and will reach the same destination. But no sooner is the link snapped than the wagons shall be where they are. So don't bother about your thoughts, whether good or bad. Bear in mind that all thoughts are illusory. The only reality is to catch firm of the Dhamma. Pukar made an ardent speech, and Baba appreciated it, dictating, "It is beyond doubt that the avatar is the avatar. In the case of the avatar, God takes human form. Rather, God descends in human form. The glory of a Sadguru is unfathomable. In his case, man has become God. When the avatar descends, there are 5 perfect masters to sustain him. These 5 have always sustained me: Sai Baba, Apasni Maharaj, Babajan, Narayan Maharaj, and Tajuddin Baba. So Sai Baba was perfection personified, a very rare type, even among Sadgurus. Babajan was, after all, the Shah and Shah, emperor of Sadgurus. So there are 5 perfect masters who sustain me from eternity. In every age, when I come, they sustain me. Sai Baba made me what I am. Babajan made me feel what I am. Upasni Maharaj made me know what I am. And what I am, I am. So let us now bow down to these 3 perfect ones. Baba then bowed to the photographs of the 3 perfect masters displayed on the veranda. That morning, Baba also spoke about obedience. Hafiz says, don't hanker after love and union, but seek only the will of the beloved. Even the very gods are pleased with those who obey implicitly. To obey me, regarding me as a Sadguru or the avatar, is not loving me, but loving one's own expectations. Those who obey me without expectation of reward really obey and love me. And those who obey me heartily and happily and relish the very act of obeying are fit and worthy of my doing their arti. Concluding, Baba praised Mahatma Gandhi, who was assassinated in 1948. There was only one man who led a life of 100% truthfulness and honesty, and that was Mahatma Gandhi. I took a promise from him when he met me on the steamer, Rajputana, that he should come to me after India attains independence. He kept his promise, and he has come to me. Baba and the Mandali then came out and sat on the veranda. It was 9 o'clock. Baba ordered the garden gates to be opened wide to allow people to come in and have his darshan. Gadikar performed the arti, and Baba asked Keshav Nigam to recite Meher Shalisa. Bashkara Raju sang a few songs, as did a local bhajan party. After they had finished, Baba conveyed, "Now I want to say a few words about love for God. God is to be loved and not studied. God is to be loved and not argued about. God is beyond intellect. So intellect can neither see him nor understand him. Only the heart can approach the threshold of the beloved. So even the poorest of beings and the most illiterate can all find God within themselves through love. This love demands no riches, no powers, no fame, no learning, and no ceremonies. We have to love God as our beloved. And this love must be so intense that just as we cannot live without air, we should not be able to live without God, the love of God. So even the poorest and most illiterate ones should know that they have an equal right to know God through love, just as intellectual giants have. And you must also know that in everyday life, too, God can be loved. If you attend to all worldly duties, keeping yourselves detached and dedicating the results to God, you are loving Him. God can be loved and seen just as you see gross things. So be hopeful of life, because we are all meant to love God and see Him within ourselves. And I give you my blessing for this love, so that someone of you may be worthy of loving God. And I want to stress this point, that we are all one, in spite of our suffering, poverty, and helplessness. We are God. We are in God. I give you all my love. After this, Baba wished to wash the feet of a poor person. Now, although I find myself in awe, I will wash the feet of this one poor man and will bow down to him, he stated. Baba also gave him some money. At noon, everyone went for lunch. After they had reassembled at 2 p.m., Baba, while conversing, remarked, "You must always laugh at illusion and weep for the love of God. But when you weep for God, you should not insult him by showing him your tears. And when your longing reaches its height, you become one with him." A mass darshan was again held that afternoon on the grounds of the Reddy College. On the way, Baba visited a rice mill and sat on the ground with its laborers. "I love workers and the poor," he stated, "and my prasad, if taken with love, will help them in every way." Baba's message on religion and politics was read by Dahak at the college function, and Baba distributed prasad to all. Bhaskara Raju had to return to Tad-e Pali Gudem, as his leave from work had expired. When he approached Baba for permission to go, Baba agreed, but then called him back and stated, "Remember one thing, I know your love for me. It is your business to make people love me as you do." When the Mandalian group assembled in his room on Monday morning, 26 January 1953, Baba inquired about each one's health. He then stated, "But for me, yesterday night was the worst. Only I and God know about that night. Believe me, it was hell. This is the third night of its kind, and yet I keep attending the programs." Now he became serious and carry out the, now be serious and carry out the instructions. I give you 100%. What I am going to say now is very important. but do not ask me any questions about it again. The Leela of crucifixion and humiliation in Andhra has not come to pass even 1%. It will come in April with a vengeance. Early this morning, I felt 99.5% sure that my body will drop in April. But if the 0.5% remains, this body will not fall for many years to come. 3. Now I want every one of you, if possible, until the end of April, to abstain from lustful action. Try, and I will help you. 4. Tonight, no one needs to keep awake. Tomorrow night, every one of you, except the 4 boys, should keep awake. During the night, you can do bhajans, kirtan, discuss spiritual matters, talk about me or take God's name. Engage yourselves in any way, but no chess or chit chat. One who sleeps tomorrow will be sorry. And after the night of the 27th, on the morning of the 28th at 8 o'clock, there will be a final confession and my bowing down to you all. And next reader, please.
Well, Rolf has been snoozing. Rolf, Rolf, Rolf. You want to read, Rolf, or are you happy in dreamland? You're muted. There you go. Good.
Okay, Fiery. 1953. After dictating these points, Baba appeared relieved and looked refreshed and radiant. Deshmukh had taken a movie of the Amrati Darshan programs, which he had brought to Andhra and wanted to show Baba. At first, Baba hesitated because of lack of time in his schedule. Honestly, he stated, I tell you that Deshmukh is one of my best men. He sometimes exasperates me. Deshmukh had been after Baba for days, asking him to procure a projector so that he could show the film. At one point, Baba remarked, my whim has projected numerous universes, and what a long, important film, it is. Now, what film is there left for me to see? And he warned in a teasing fashion, if you talk any more about a projector, you will be stripped and 7 bucketfuls of ice cold water will be poured over you. Baba then instructed Alava that no sooner the word projector came from Deshmukh's mouth than he should strip him and pour cold water over him. He turned to Deshmukh and asked, now, what order have I given Alava? Deshmukh repeated Baba's instruction without mentioning the word projector. Baba stated, what sort of doctor are you? Repeat my order faithfully, word for word. If I do that, Deshmukh replied, I will be in trouble and Alaba will have to get the water ready. In the end, however, Baba agreed to see the film, and it was shown that morning. In the afternoon, Baba and the men made house visits. At every home, Baba sat on the floor as Gadekar sang his arti. Baba's arti. He would then give fruit to the host and hostess. As soon as the arti was over, all reoccupied their seats in the. We'll read the footnote, Lord my hair page. They went to the homes of, the timed out, footnote. They went to the homes of Kata Suba Rao, Ranga Rao, C. Kamala Rao, Dr. Kanakadandi, K. Subramanyam Shastri, Baba Shastri, and Ramarao Nadu. In the afternoon, Baba and the men made house visits at every home. Baba sat on the floor as Gayatri sang, excuse me, localities, some people in different localities. As at Subramanyam Shastri's Baba, where Baba meetings were regularly held, Baba was requested to sit in a chair, which previously had only held his framed photograph. He complied and asked Shastri to do his arti before a large portrait of him, Baba, painted by Ranga Rao, which hung in the house. Baba himself joined the arti by standing with folded hands before the picture. One incident occurred there that amused Baba. Baba asked Subramanyam Shastri, "How many children do you have?" 7, he replied. The children were brought to Baba and introduced turn by turn. But Shastri was so deeply enamored of Baba that when Baba asked their names, he could not remember, and each time had to turn and ask his wife. This made Baba laugh. Jai Baba. Fiery Freedom. Shall I keep reading? That's just the 3 of us, isn't it? The fiery
Sure thing.
That evening at about 5 o'clock, the largest mass darshan program during the 3 months of Baba's Fiery Free Life took place at Ram Koti Fairgrounds in Eluru. A multitude estimated at 60,000 people had assembled. There was a sea of heads as far as the eye could see. Men and women formed into separate lines as the police tried to keep the crowd under control. Baba worked like a machine, distributing prasad with both hands continuously until about 7:30 for as many as possible. Both hands continuously till about 7:30 for as many as possible. Although there was an enormous crowd, the accused proceeded peacefully and there were no disturbances. Rama Shankar of Hamirpur had been positioned next to Baba throughout the program. His job was to collect the various offerings, fruit, coconuts, sweets, flowers, and gifts brought by devotees before they went to Baba for prasad. By the end of the day, he was not to be seen. He was completely surrounded and submerged by the huge mound of offerings. Ramashankar was so overpowered by the day's experience that he did not know who he was anymore and had to be escorted away. Baba comforted him, but he was out of his senses with love, and it was almost a month before Ramashankar returned to normal. On his return to Subbarau's home after the darshan, Baba remarked, "The time has come when the ocean of love has to flood the rivers, and which have gone spiritually dry. Between darshan and prasad to thousands of people, it is neither mechanical nor meaningless. These are the means by which my love flows to humanity." Throughout the Fiery Free Life darshan tour, Baba had complained about body aches and sleeplessness. He had not been able to sleep all night. Since arriving in Attaripalli 10 days, Baba, 10 days before, he had a cold as well as a sore throat. Now I lost my thread. I need played about body aches and sleeplessness. He had not been able to sleep well at night since arriving in Tadipalli 10 days before, as he had a cold as well as a sore throat. When the group gathered for Baba on the morning of the 27th, he stated, "Babajan often used to say, 1,000,000 holes are being drilled in my heart. And last night I had the same feeling." Someone want to take it, or shall I can go, but I can also pass.
Yeah, why don't you finish this last paragraph?
Oh, okay. The group can. It seems, talking about the 1,000,000 holes in his heart, Baba had that experience that of Babajan's. It seemed that I will literally be consumed by my fiery free life. In April, there is a great possibility of my dropping the body. During this month, wherever I go, all the resident Mandali will be with me. In March, I will reside either at Dehradun or Hyderabad. When I break my silence, the ocean of love will flood the rivers which have become dry.
Okay, awesome. We'll pick up in the next page next week. And let's see. Stop recording. There we go.